All right, welcome to Pens and Needles. Today I wanted to show you how to make an ink journal. I've been trying to plan out what exactly I wanted in my ink journal instead of just copying something that somebody else uses. So that starts with the paper. So here I have some of papers that I've collected. Here's like an example of some drawings of the ink, some ink next to other inks so you can see the differences and how they blend together. This is the Diamine Earl Grey and the Noodler's Green Marine and the Sailor Gentle Grenade, and I think they look really pretty together, which is not what I would expect. And I use two kinds of paper primarily. I use Muji dot pad, which is what this is, and then I also use Tomoe River, and that generally shows a lot of shading and sheening. Another thing that's interesting is that my Tomoe River paper is white, and the Muji dot pad is kind of a creamy white, so it's going to also have a different impact on the inks. So what I wanted to do was find a way that I could showcase my papers without necessarily getting a notebook that is Tomoe River paper and a notebook that is my Muji dot pad and having two separate notebooks. So what seemed to be the solution was having a sketchbook or a scrapbook. So this is a sketchbook from Muji. If you can't tell, I love Muji paper products. As you can see, this one was pretty cheap. It was only $8.50. And it's a nice large size. And it has some paper in here already. But I think what I'm going to be doing is taping or gluing these pages into the sketchbook. So it might be better that I do like this orientation. Here we go, like that. Now one thing I want to do before I get fully started is I want to cut off these little sticky outy bits here. I'm stuck with a bit of dilemma. I know that I want this style of information. I want to have quotes, I want to have swabs, I have the title of the ink, a drawing, some scribbles, some drying time, and also color friends where I put down colors that go well with it. And I want to try them out on different papers as well. So I do want this information. The question now is, for some of these ink tests which I've done previously, do I want to redo these or keep them? And if I keep them, do I keep them in the ink journal or do I keep them somewhere else? So this is a Muji dot pad paper and Crown Mill, which is not Tomoe River. You can see it's even creamier and it has this texture on it. This is kind of fun because you do get to see three inks next to each other. Or here I have some sort of bigger swatches of ink. So it's just something to think about for decide later. But if you think it'd be a really great idea, if you really want to see like big swatches of color or bigger drawings or things like that in the ink journal, let me know and I'll consider it. So I think an ideal way to adhere the pages to the ink journal would be to use some kind of glue, but I don't have glue. What I've got, I've got a lot of adhesive. I've got some glue dots. I've got some tape. I've got some backup tape. I've got some washi tape. Now washi tape is great because it's got these cute pictures on it and it's very gentle, so it's not going to rip your paper. Downside is that this tape is fairly old by now. I got it on sale. I got it on clearance when it was pretty old, almost 2 years ago. So I'll definitely pull off a piece and it won't stick very well. So that's the downside. All right, so let's organize what we want. I'm thinking I might want like a title page, so I'm gonna actually skip this first one because I don't know a good way of adding pages to this ring style format. And you know, if I decide later I don't want a title page, I can fill it in later. For right now, I'm gonna skip one page. And we gotta decide which colors are going first. So you might, if you've seen recent episodes, you might recognize these colors from my green inks. I think we can start with the lighter one right here. And we'll do Tomorrow River paper first. We'll do this one second. And if I have space for it, I thought it'd be really fun to add in the chromatography that goes along with it. Now, luckily I don't have quite so many inks that I have trouble distinguishing one chromatography from the other. If I think it's a little too big, I can cut it down. Just like that. Right? Like I said, this is going to be more like a scrapbook. If I go in with the washi tape, that could be a cool effect, but it's definitely going to be competing with the ink, which is what I'm trying to highlight. So I might use a black and white washi tape, which, even though it has a bold pattern, is not going to, you know, mess with the colors that you're seeing. And this seems to be holding fairly well, so I might give this a go. One of the greatest things about washi tape is that you can kind of reset it. So you can see this angle is not straight. So if I wanted to be real fussy, you just move it like that. If you do want something to last quite a long time, one thing that I've learned from my museum work is that you want acid-free paper, and you want to make sure that you don't expose it to light very often. You want to try to have controlled, stable humidity conditions and temperature conditions. So that means you don't want to put this in an attic where, yeah, it might not be getting a lot of light, it might not be moving around, but in the attic, you know, think about it. In the summer, it's going to get really hot and humid. In the winter, it's going to get really cold and maybe really dry. That's, you know, that is the worst kind of place. You want it to be in an area that is free from pests. All right, if you're just doing it for your ink journal though, you want to try to make sure that it's in a good secure location. So if in your area your place is prone for moths or bookworm or things like that, then take the necessary precautions for that. And don't leave it in a sunny window, don't let it get really wet or really dry. Just kind of try to keep it in stable condition. I'm trying to decide if I want this spread over here and I want to put this in the middle. If I want to put it like a flap that lifts up. If I want this right next to that one. It's a difficult choice. You know what? I'm going to stick it over here so it looks balanced, and we'll put this inside one of them. I do like how this frames. I thought this would be a little bit too much, but I do quite like how the washi tape frames that. Now, if you have a bigger collection of washi tape than I do, you could, of course, customize, and sort of pair each page with a new tape, have it themed, if you have inks that you like to use at a particular time of year, that kind of thing. I don't have a huge collection of washi tape, and I just got it on discount, and it seemed like enough. And as you can see, I have not used it up yet, so I have not gotten more yet. I do enjoy using it. And you can see that my paper is starting to pucker. So this is a great thing that the washi tape lets you sort of reset it. Let's put the chromatography down. And we'll just put it there for now. I kind of want to see the other stuff. Let's just put it there for now. It's okay if it's loose, maybe. All right, so this is page 1. I will get to doing the others, and I'll do that on a time lapse, so you don't have to watch quite as laboriously. I ran out of tape. My tape ran out. So I tried using some of the clear tape instead, which is not going to be as forgiving as the washi tape, but it does have the benefit of being clear. For the most part, I just rolled it around my finger and stuck it under each corner, which is a trick you might have learned in grade school. So let's take a look at what I've got so far. So this will be the front page. I decorate at some point. And I do quite like the borders. I think it looks really nice here. So you've got the Twisby green and the Blackstone bush and the Robert Oster deep sea. Now if I am just looking at the colors, I don't need them to be facing the same direction. So I figured it'd probably be easier to have everything facing away from the ridges. That also means that the strips don't necessarily interfere with each other. And here you can see this is with just the clear tape. I don't think it looks quite as good, in my opinion. It's not quite my thing. I would want some kind of border edging element. But that's okay. This is a good start. I think it's great that the chromatography and the papers can go in together. And if, I decide that I want to change it up and I've used this tape, for example, to hold everything down, and I rip it up and it rips the paper a little bit, that's okay. I can get a new sketchbook, I can redo some of the papers. It's not the end of the world. This is all arts and crafts. And I mean, more likely I'll just get a sticker and I'll cover it with a sticker. So this is the first part of my ink journal. I am excited to, again, decide whether or not I want to continue this format and redo some of my earlier ink tests, like this one, or if I want to include them, because I have them, and just not bother about it, not worry about it, basically. So let me know what you think, what would you do, and if you have any tips or suggestions for my ink journal, love to hear them. See you in my next video.